To my people out there that have no morning routine, that don't meditate, that don't journal, that don't pray, that don't make your bed, that don't have like a movement ritual or anything like that that you do in the morning, it's fine. It's a beautiful place to be, because if you're hearing me and you're inspired in any way by anything that I'm saying, the shift for you has already happened. Welcome to The Shift with Ben Brown. Today we are talking about the importance of getting quiet, aka DMX to Chopin, or the journey, the shift from DMX to Chopin, and then back to DMX, and then back to Chopin. Because why have to choose? They're both great. In 2016, I remember having an experience where I was masturbating to porn, and after I climaxed, I immediately wanted to turn the porn off. Like I couldn't have it on for another second past, my orgasm. And I started to notice that became a thing. Every time that I would watch porn and masturbate, I would need to turn it off immediately. And that was never something that I had ever experienced before. I didn't think too much about it. I just turned it off immediately. And then I remember somewhere early 2017, I saw some post on Instagram from this guy that said that he had been meditating for 83 days straight. And he was doing this tracker thing of keeping how many days he had meditated in a row. And I found myself, never having meditated before, for some reason being inspired by that and thinking to myself, I want to try meditation. I like this idea of him doing that for 80-something days straight. And I don't know why, but in my mind, if I were to meditate for 80-something days straight, I think it would do me good. So I started looking up meditation apps and things, and I landed on this 21-day meditation challenge, which was great for me because I grew up playing sports and I love a challenge. You throw the word challenge in anything and I'm into it. And I was like, okay, 21 days was also 3 weeks. It just felt like a doable, small enough yet substantial enough number that I was able to get excited about it. So it was with Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra. And I signed up for it. And in the beginning, they had like 5-minute guided meditations, which were challenging in and of themselves, having been someone who had never done it before. And one of the things that I would realize is in the beginning when I would meditate, and he was walking you through it, is that I guess maybe the athlete in me or the way I was raised, the competitor in me, in my mind, it was like the way to successfully meditate is to have a blank mind and only focus on your breath. And every single time you think of another thought, you're failing. So I would get frustrated, really frustrated, because my mind would just wander like constantly. But I remember Deepak Chopra doing a very good job of bringing kindness and acceptance, modeling that or urging us, inviting the listener to bring that to their practice. Like it's okay. Your mind, if your mind is wandering, it's okay. Just come back to the breath. Your mind wanders, it's okay. Let it go and come back. So this goes back to my first episode, talk about entering in, right? I had to enter in to meditation. I was entering into a new relationship with something. And all this stuff was going to come up because I was entering into it. One of the things that I remember, I'm actually feeling it right now. It's so interesting. I would get really itchy, and I'm feeling my scalp getting really itchy right now just thinking about it. As soon as I would get still, it was like I started to feel all these just itches. my leg, back of my head. And I'd be like, all right, let me get these itches. Let me scratch these itches, and then I'll calm down and meditate. And then I would start meditating, and then it would just be more itches. And there's a moment when I think Deepak Chopra actually addresses that. He's like, you're going to find if you're new to meditation that you might itch a lot. Let that be. And try your best to maybe not scratch it. Just breathe, keep focusing on the breath, and see if perhaps it starts to dissipate. I mean, this is, what, the itch, right? It's like when we need a fix, booze, sex, but masturbation, drug, shopping, whatever it is, often what is it? We're trying to scratch an itch. The hardest thing for us to do is to learn how to sit with the itch and not scratch it. But I realize now in retrospect that this was the beginning of me learning how to do that. And then what I'm so grateful for, in addition to this, the meditation, was that at the end of each meditation session, they had a series of they had like a journal entry that you could go into. And it was, they would have these questions about your experience in that day's meditation. And there was something about that, like going from this time of sitting and breathing and dealing with the itches and breathing into it and just trying to be there and let it all be and not move, and then journey into this thing about, okay, let's now think about, talk about, write about this experience that I just had. I had never been that introspective in my life, ever. I just did. I just took actions, made moves, had conversations, went and did this, went and did that. It was my life, now that I look back on it, was pretty much a series of reactions. I was just reacting to things mostly that were going on inside my head. Maybe one could argue fully to what was going on inside my head. Because even the reactions of things that I was having to what other people were doing were based on my ideas about what that meant. So I would meditate and I would journal. And I started to get, even just after maybe 7 days of doing it, I started to notice a shift. I started to notice that if on day 1, 2, or 3, I literally couldn't get more than 2 or 3 seconds of nothingness, it would literally be the whole time my mind racing, and maybe a half of a breath I would be still and quiet. By day 7, I might be able to get 2 or 3 straight breaths of ease. And what I started to recognize was that ease was kind of, I don't want to say kind of, it feels hyperbolic to say something I had never felt before, but I don't think I had ever felt that before. I don't think I had ever felt that level of, in that 4 seconds that I felt it by day 7, I don't think I had ever felt that level of ease inside my body. So the shift that got me to this point was now continuing to shift. And I recognized that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, if only within 7 days of meditation and journaling, I am now at a point where I can have my brain be silent and I can feel ease and peace for 4 breaths. And just 3 days ago, I couldn't even do 1 breath. Then that inspired me to keep going for the full 21 days. And it did continue to progress. And then after the 21 days, I signed up for another 21 days, and I just kept doing it. And that was in 2017, and it's now 2026. So I've now been meditating for 9 years. But let's go back. Let's not be in 2026. Let's stay back in 2017. Because as that ease and peace and quiet within my body continued to get cultivated, I started to become very, very clear when I wasn't feeling that. The discrepancy between the ease and the peace and the compulsive reaction that I was living my life pretty much at all times with before, I started to now be able to see, oh, you're back in that other space. You're this other thing that you're now learning and cultivating inside of you. You got to be able to bring it into more aspects of your life. It can't just be for sitting Indian style in your bedroom floor and journaling in your, like, can't you bring it outside? Can't you bring it into interaction with another person? Can't you take it into acting class or take it on the airplane or, take it on the car ride to the grocery store? Like, there has to be the ability to do that. So I got really hungry for that. I wanted more of that. And as I found myself feeling that ease, that peace more and more, I started to understand why I wanted to turn the porn off immediately after having an orgasm a lot better. Because all I was doing when I was watching the porn and masturbating to it was scratching the itch. And now I was actually learning that the itch wasn't going to kill me, that it could just be there. So as that continued to get cultivated, and I was living in LA at the time, I was like, you know what? All these people in LA go on hikes. I want to see what that's about. I want to go on a hike. Never had a thought about really doing that before in my life. All of a sudden, I was like, I want to go on a hike. So I went up to Runyon Canyon, and I'm walking up the Runyon Canyon by myself, and I'm looking at the mountains around me and just looking at the air and birds and seeing the grass and kind of being like, whoa, I've never seen all this like this before. I've never felt this level of presence. I'm acknowledging, I'm feeling my feet on the ground. I'm experiencing a level of consciousness and being present in the moment, experiencing what I'm experiencing. Normally, and it took me having that experience on the mountain to realize, oh, you normally walk around with your brain somewhere completely different. Your brain is thinking about the next thing that you're going to go do or the 5 other things that are on your things to do list. Your brain is not actually in the like right now as I'm sitting here, I feel it. I'm like, oh, okay, I feel my body in this chair. See the microphone, see the camera. I'm present. I learned that through all this. Such a gift. It's such a gift. So I start hiking. Then I start doing yoga. Which was, I was like, I'm a hip hop dude from New York. I don't do fucking yoga. Like that was the mindset. You know what I mean? Fuck yoga. What I'm like, what's next? I'm gonna drink a green juice and eat an acai bowl. And you know what I did? I drank green juices and had acai bowls. And I loved it. I went to this Sunday power yoga class every Sunday taught by this dude named Brian Kest or Brian something. He was amazing. It was like a 1 hour and 45-minute hot power yoga class in Santa Monica. I had to drive an hour to get there. And then right afterwards, I would go and I would sit at this outdoor cafe and I would eat an acai bowl. And I would absolutely be like, I'm in heaven. This is heaven. And old me would have been like, dude, I'm not hanging out with you. You're a cornball. That's what old me would have said about that me. And I never would have even had access to those desires had it not really began with the moment of being like, I want to shut the porn off immediately. I'm inspired by this guy who did 83 days of meditation. Oh, I'm signing up for this thing. Boom. Shift. Tiny little steps. That's one of the biggest misconceptions when you want to make a change in your life is that you need to do some big drastic thing immediately. It is the worst way to do it because it becomes like a fad diet. It's like going keto all of a sudden and then, in 30 days you're eating fried chicken and fucking cheesecake again because you shocked the system so hard in a way that it just wasn't sustainable. Slow and steady. Because what I realize now in retrospect is not all the times, but most of the times that I tried to go super, super, super hard right away, it didn't work. The little things that I started to incorporate into my life slowly over time led to shifts that now feel permanent. So this was one of the most unexpected ones. So I am a hip hop head, big time. To the point where most people, I didn't really have another genre. Like I pretty much exclusively listened to hip hop. And my years were like 2000 and 1992 to like 2003, where I was like an expert of that decade. Just could recite every DMX, early Wu-Tang, Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie. One of my favorite Biggie verses. When it comes to sex, I'm similar to the Thriller in Manila. Honeys call me bigger, the condom filler. Whether it's stiff tongue or stiff dick, Biggie squeeze it to make shit fit. Or DMX. Don't come at me with no bullshit, use caution, because when I wet shit, I dead shit, like abortion from bigger portions of extortion and racketeering. Got brothers fearing. Fuck what you heard is what you hearing. I use those two verses as examples because they were two of the ones that came up to me, but for the reason that as I was finding this ease and this peace inside my body, those lyrics weren't really aligned. So I started craving something else because I was finding myself in this ease and this peace, and I'd want to listen to music, and I'd throw on, X or Biggie or Wu-Tang, and for some reason it would start to feel like noise almost, like I was being, like it was oppressive, when I was in that state. It was still great in the gym, when I wanted to pump or on, certain things like that, but it didn't work anymore for me when I was in that space. But I still wanted to listen to music. And somehow, some way, I don't even remember how it happened, I heard Chopin. Somehow I got introduced to Chopin's Nocturnes. Let me tell you something. Chopin's Nocturnes, look, I'm getting emotional just talking about it. Chopin's Nocturnes changed my life. I started listening to Chopin's Nocturnes all the time, like on repeat. I would make breakfast to it, make coffee to it. I would drive to it. They're so beautiful. Or the Clair de Lune by Debussy. And all of a sudden I was like, I'm 37 years old at the time. Always thought I hated classical music. My whole life, no interest. Now, all of a sudden, I was listening to it more than I was listening to hip hop. That proved to be fertile soil. We have a lot of things that we need for fertile soil that I was talking about in the last episode. What is the soil that we are surrounding ourselves with, that we are filling our minds with, our space with, that is people, music, whatever, that is helping us to continue to cultivate this version of ourselves that we want to be. Chopin was doing that, rest in peace DMX, more than DMX was. So I conclude all this to say, I'm going to first just say to my people out there that have no morning routine, that don't meditate, that don't journal, that don't pray, that don't make your bed, that don't have like a movement ritual or anything like that you do in the morning. It's fine. It's a beautiful place to be, because if you're hearing me and you're inspired in any way by anything that I'm saying, the shift for you has already happened. A shift. And there's a gazillion more to go as long as you take the first step. So my 5-headed beautiful monster is the 3 M's, which are making my bed, meditation, and movement. And PJ, which is prayer and journaling, right? So my invitation, my offer to you is for the next 7 days, pick any one of those things. PJ, MMM, prayer, journaling, meditation, making your bed, movement. And just do one of them for 7 days straight. You could just make your bed. If you don't make your bed and you make your bed for 7 days straight, I promise you, you will experience a shift. If you don't meditate at all and you meditate for 2 minutes every day for 7 days straight, you let the mind wander and then you say, let me come back to the breath. Focus on the breath in. Focus on the breath out. If you want visualization, if that helps you out, you can imagine that there's a beautiful, healing, hot, white light right in front of your face. And you breathe that light in. Let that light, that healing energy cleanse your body. And you blow out dark smoke that represents all of your worry and your anxiety. 2 minutes of that a day, or making your bed, or just get into your space and just move. Set a timer for 2 minutes and just, whatever, right? Movement. I gave them to you. Prayer, journaling, 2 minutes of journaling. Any one of the things, just stick to it for 7 days. That's all I got. Until next time. The Shift with Ben Brown. Peace.